The Breakfast Club, bitches.
All right, Charlamagne, please tell me, why was I your donkey of the day?
Hey, donkey of the day for Thursday, January 20th goes to the 46th president of the United States of America, Joe Biden, as well as Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema and West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin. These three are collectively responsible for the death of the Democratic Party as we know it. Okay, Joe Biden and other Democrats love to run around and say, we have to go out there and vote like democracy depends on it. People are asking if we are witnessing the death of democracy in America. Well, guess what? If it is, which I believe it is, for some of us, these three are to blame. Simple as that. Okay, if you haven't heard, last night Democrats came up short on a last-ditch Hail Mary type of effort to advance the voting rights bill. Let me tell you something. You all know that your Uncle Charla is a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan, okay? And shut up. And I really thought that Sunday night watching my Dallas Cowboys down 23-17 with 14 seconds left in the game and Dak Prescott running a draw play from the 41-yard line instead of maybe getting one or possibly two shots at the end zone off. I thought that was going to be the dumbest finish I would see this week. But President Biden said, hold my prune juice, all right? Now, I'm going to keep this as simple as possible. Since last summer, 19 states have enacted 33 laws that will make it hard for Americans to vote. By Americans, I mean niggas, all right? The blacks, all right? All these GOP-sponsored state laws will suppress turnout by minority voters. This is an old tune, ladies and gentlemen, all right? Voter suppression by the GOP against black people is the greatest hit, all right? A golden oldie. Kids, trust me, it would break all screaming records. It is the Ed Sheeran Shape of You of American politics, all right? President Biden knew that going in. And after the attempted coup of this country on January 6th, that should have been his first order of business, protecting voting rights. I've told y'all so many different times on this here radio and on other platforms, on TV and everything else. There's 3 or 4 things Joe Biden had to do to protect democracy. Okay, this morning I'll give you 3. 1, prosecute everyone involved in the attempted coup of this country to the highest extent of the law, not just the members of Vanilla ISIS who stormed the Capitol, but the members of Congress who helped them. 2, get rid of the filibuster so you can properly govern. And 3, protect voting rights. Protect voting rights. But guess what? None of those things have happened, okay? I never understood why anyone thought it would. I mean, if you have the GOP passing, 33 laws in 19 states in support of voter suppression, why would anyone in their right mind think that you could work with any of those people to pass voter rights legislation? It makes no sense. Republican politicians are the epitome of unity and group operation. They fall in line with each other, and if one doesn't fall in line, they get the business, okay? Last week on NPR, Donald Trump called Mitch McConnell a loser and blamed him for the GOP senators who won't go along with his claims that the election was stolen. Last week, he also called out Arizona Republican officials for accepting the 2020 election results and called them rhinos, Republicans in name only. Why did Trump do that? Because those individuals blocked his agenda, kept him from getting done what he wanted to get done. That's what you should do when people in your own party are blocking your agenda. Now, we all know Trump is doing that for self-serving reasons. So if you can call out people in your party for self-serving reasons and everyone is fine with it, then why can't President Biden call out Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema for blocking his agenda when them blocking his agenda is actually hurting the American people? Okay? If you ask me, it's because he don't care. Black people voting is simply not a priority for Biden, Manchin, or Sinema. Simple as that. This should have been a priority. He had to know this day would come, but he didn't care. Why? My man Sean King said it best on Instagram last night, because Joe Biden has never known a day in his life what it means to have his voting rights threatened. All right? It's a matter of white privilege for Biden. He failed to give this issue the true energy and priority that it deserved because he simply can't relate. Same with Sinema and Manchin. They have never experienced their voting rights threatened, and they don't need you Negroes to win elections. So why should they care? Well, Manchin and Sinema, why should they care? Biden needs to care. By the way, we knew the jig was in when last year GOP legislators praised Manchin and Sinema for not getting rid of the filibuster, because without that, they would be dead meat. Let me play this for you again. I played it for you a few times last year, but now that y'all might be paying a little bit more attention, this is GOP legislators praising Joe Manchin and Sinema for basically being on their side. This was last year. Listen.
Fortunately for us, the filibuster is still in effect in the Senate. Without that, we would be dead meat. But thank goodness for Sinema and Joe Manchin.
Yeah, I just really thank you for standing for the country. And, you know, all of you in this room, people at home on Zoom, let me tell you right now, if you want to do one thing to keep the republic afloat, call Joe Manchin's office, call Kristen Sinema's office, be polite. Just be like, hi, I'm here to talk to Senator Joe Manchin and thank him for keeping the filibuster intact.
Those are GOP legislators. They didn't even know they were being recorded. All right. Joe Biden gave a statement yesterday after the failed vote to change the filibuster. He said, let me read some of it. He said, I am profoundly disappointed that the Senate has failed to stand up for our democracy. I am disappointed, but I am not deterred. We will continue to advance necessary legislation and push for Senate procedural changes that will protect the fundamental right to vote. End quote. I don't know if it's because he's old or maybe he really doesn't care, but I never hear the sense of urgency. It's literally always more urgency for us to go out there and vote than it is for elected officials to protect voting rights. All you're about to hear for the next however many months before the midterms is how we have to have the largest voter turnout in the history of the midterms in order to protect democracy, how we have to vote like democracy depends on it, but they never, ever govern like democracy depends on it. You are going to hear you have to go out there and vote because if votes didn't matter, why are they fighting so hard to take them from you? Yes, that is true. But you know what else matters? When you're an elected official, getting things done. When you're an elected official who keeps campaign promises. You want me to get up and fight through all these various voter suppression efforts. In some cases, literally fight to keep an administration in that hasn't done what they said they were going to do. Not keeping campaign promises is a form of voter suppression, okay? Now, let me tell you something. I'm going to vote in the midterms and the presidential election. I don't know who I'm voting for. I don't even know what I'm voting for yet. But I'm going to vote, okay? But if you don't want to, I understand. And for all the folks out there who are going to push people to vote, like actively go out there and campaign for folks, what are you going to tell them? That's what I want to know. What are you going to tell them? The Biden administration has armed you with nothing. $10,000 for student loan debt. Didn't happen. George Floyd Policing Act. Didn't happen. Build Back Better. Didn't happen. Okay, voting rights didn't happen. All right, I know it's only been a year, but none of those things have happened. But voting rights, the cornerstone of our democracy, didn't happen. And it's because the real leaders of this country, Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, Democrats, allegedly, it's because they are false flagging. And since they are false flagging, are the Democrats going to attempt to run them off the set? Are they going to run someone to challenge Joe Manchin's seat? What about Kristen Sinema? I don't even know how that works, but I know when someone not really in your gang and they false flagging, you let it be known then. All right? They won't even let it be known. They won't even call them out on how they are blocking progress because Democrats are willing to try every political strategy except honesty and courage. The moral of the story is, and I really need to take a drink of water before I say this because this has really been on my mind. The moral of the story is, what I really want to say on this radio this morning, this is Leonard McKelvey, Charlamagne the God talking. I just want Joe Madison to eat. Joe Madison is a radio personality on Sirius XM, and him and some pastors, they went on a hunger strike until voting rights was passed in Congress. I need you all to go get some shrimp and grits right now, okay? Joe Madison hasn't eaten in like 60-plus days. No solid foods until Congress passes voting rights. That's what Joe Madison said. Joe, it's time to eat. I don't know that brother, don't think I ever met him, but when I saw him on MSNBC over the holidays and I saw him saying he was on a hunger strike until they passed voting rights in Congress, first thing I thought was, man, those white folks don't care if you starve, okay? Oh, it was around the holidays when I saw him too. I said, damn, this is a hard time to not eat. And he's staking his not eating on whether voting rights get passed? Listen, I applaud y'all faith in these people, but that Democrat diet, that fascist fast, it isn't healthy. So please go eat, Brother Joe Madison, and all the pastors who went on a hunger strike until voting rights passed, please go eat. Get a big meal this morning, some shrimp and grits, all right, maybe some corned beef hash and eggs, okay? I've really been thinking about y'all. I promised you last night, that was the first thing on my mind. I was in a few group chats telling folks that know y'all to please tell those brothers to go eat. I would even cash app them some change for some breakfast or some lunch this morning because voting rights legislation and democracy may have died on the Senate floor last night, but we can't let y'all die from starvation too, all right? So please let Remy Ma give President Joe Biden, Senator Kristen Sinema, and Senator Joe Manchin the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw, you stupid motherfucker, are you dumb?
I'm sure this won't be the last we'll be discussing this, but for real, Joe Madison, please, go eat, my brother. Please.
Is Kanye running again?
Man, shut up.
Donkey of the Day is brought to you by the law office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey. Dial pound 250 on your cell and say the bull if you've been hurt in a construction accident. That's pound 250 from your cell and say the bull.